being here in an open-minded way or an open-hearted way, or both. Where what's important is your quality of interest. Let's say that meditation is the practice of being interested. And there are various levels or depths to interest, various ways in which interest can move. But to begin with just this basic quality of interest, that you're taking interest in your experience. To be interested doesn't necessitate interpreting. It doesn't mean you have to be interested to interpret or evaluate or examine your experience in a certain way. It doesn't even mean that you have to be enthusiastic. It means that for whatever is going on, whatever's taking place here in the present moment, you have an investment in experiencing it, whatever it may be, whether it's a feeling, a reaction, a sensation. And so this interest in experience connects you to the directness of your experience. There's a way of being here without being interested. You can sit here with your physical body, with your eyes closed, practicing meditation without really being interested. We call that a sort of ignorance or non-attentiveness. So of course, breathing slowly and relaxing your body and holding your posture a certain way, these are all going to support this practice of being interested. And the quality of interest is quite a phenomenal one. Because as you bring your interest to the moment, to the now, to what is happening right here, you'll start to notice that your interest actually grows or deepens. That you're even more interested than you were a moment before. Interest is what awareness does when it comes into contact with phenomenal experience. So we're very careful when we sit down to meditate that we're not practicing resistance. That we're not practicing some form of trying to manipulate experience or change experience. Because this becomes a method of losing interest. If I sit down and I'm bored, my resistance will try to reject or get rid of or change that experience because I don't like it. But with awareness, I will take deep interest in the arising state of boredom. And the same could be said for sadness or confusion, or fear, dullness, or any of the positive experiences as well. Beauty, power, love. One of the most significant things that can happen in the practice of meditation is noticing where you lose interest, when you stop being interested in what's taking place. As you lose interest, you notice that you begin to fill that space with something else. You begin to fill it with thinking about tomorrow or yesterday. That you begin examining some task or relationship. You start moving into something else. Something that you sense might be more engaging or entertaining for your mind. So we're working with a very basic quality of interest. Quality of being completely invested with your present moment unfolding. Sometimes that's going to be pleasant, sometimes it's not. But your interest and investment keep it moving or expanding. To know that your consciousness is intended to expand. And that part of that expansion is due to your interest and investment in the here and now. That there is a message in your experience coming through your phenomenal experience, even though you may not logically know what it is. Your interest and your investment will begin to show you what's really happening here. And if you lose interest, that's okay too. Because when you lose interest, you can get interested and invested in this recent occurrence of losing interest. This quality of paying attention is very light. It's very simple. It's not serious and dogged and striving. It's relaxed. For some of you, it may be a new experience to take interest and invest in your experience without analyzing it, without thinking about it. If that's the case, it may occur to you that you don't know how to do this, or that you don't even know what I'm talking about. Nor am I saying to be here in an emotional way, opening up your emotions and looking at your emotions and feeling your emotions, although that might happen. But instead, a way of being connected to and attuned to your inner experience and unfolding without trying to make something happen, without trying to get somewhere. So if you should notice yourself trying to get somewhere, trying to have some specific kind of experience, trying to change things in a certain way, that instead of pursuing that, instead of following that thread, that you might get interested in just looking at, feeling, experiencing this need or this draw to take up a motivation, to take up a goal, to take up some outcome. To understand that experience in yourself intuitively. When it comes to this quality of interest and attentiveness, we have to release rights and wrongs, or shoulds, the things that interfere with our experience by telling us that we should be having some special type of experience, or that it should be going a certain way, so that we can just be open. We can really be open and interested in whatever it is that's appearing in our consciousness right now. So we are practicing staying with ourselves, staying with our direct, immediate experience, staying with the unfolding of our consciousness in whatever form it takes, emotionally, energetically, perceptually. Sometimes this entails being very alert and attuned to your body and its sensations, its contractions. Taking interest needn't be heavy or burdensome. It needn't be something you are trying hard to do. That it can exist as just paying attention to your experience in a very light-hearted way. Just being open. To practice for a little while, just being open. If you consider being open for a little while, you may notice that there's a tendency to contract, to restrict, to narrow your attention from its openness into specific fixations. That instead of being open, we tend to pay attention to certain things. And see what it's like just to be open. Just to be without pretense. To be without judgment. To be here in such a way that anything is possible. And so in a deeper sense, to be here and just be open is in a way a departure from your usual way of being here, where you might be trying to figure something out or accomplish something, where you might be here trying to have a certain kind of experience. When we exist here in an open way, some of our usual motivations begin to surface. We begin to wonder what we're doing here when we could be doing something else to fulfill our usual programs. We realize we're not necessarily here learning anything. We're not necessarily here having fun. We're not here gaining something or some kind of experience. When we're open, we're here without really knowing why we're here at all. And to be open is to be innocent. To be innocent is to be fresh, new. Not made in yesterday's image, not made in the image of 5 minutes ago. To be innocent is to not know. But don't confuse your innocence with being naive. Don't confuse it with being weak. Don't confuse it with being unintelligent. But instead to see just how remarkable it is to be open, to be innocent, to be new, where everything you have come to know, everything you have come to experience is set aside. And you're back as a blank slate, empty, open. Of course, you have access to your memory, concepts, learned skills and talents. But you are living, breathing, right here at the very front, the very tip of this now, this eternal now. And as you reside, as you abide at this very front edge of existence, that you're being led, that you're being guided by yourself. To open, to expand, to unfold everything that you are. I'll ring the bell. When you hear it, just be in a state of stillness where you can fully hear and feel the reverberation of the bell. After you hear the bell, you're welcome to open your eyes if you want. You're also welcome to keep them closed. If your body would be served by a better position, you can of course move. But for these moments, just to let the bell, just to let it reverberate through.